that's dirty.
Please.
Okay.
Huh?
No, we're good. I'm gonna turn that light off, I think. Nope, that's good. Just that one's good.
Hello.
Hey Sarah, how are you guys? Oh my goodness, I just love it. I love seeing everyone on here. Okay, everyone's joining in. We were a little late because all of our clocks are all different. Okay.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. Oh my gosh.
Hello.
Okay. Kathia Davila.
Yep.
Yeah, she's
Perfect.
She's ours.
Yeah. Welcome, welcome. I'm gonna start putting oils on because we didn't do that. We have a ton. So tell us what you're putting on. What oils are you putting on in the chat thread? Which one are you gonna put on, babe? Joy, he's a joy boy. Harmony. Joy is so florally too, but he's gonna talk about this tonight. Okay. Welcome, welcome everyone. Valor. Okay, we're just gonna give everyone just another minute to pop in here. And I know Melinda and her husband are popping in too because they're gonna be sharing. No.
Kathy.
see Katya. Don't get to see Katya.
How are you, Katya?
Doing good. Good to see.
Katya, where are you from, Katya?
I'm in Avon Park, Florida.
In Florida. Okay, I was
Yeah.
wondering if you are friends with Ken and Lori. Okay.
Yeah.
One of our pals.
Yeah.
It's so awesome. Like all these people all over the country. It's like we're getting out of our bubble.
So where are you guys?
We are in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, close to Sarah.
Been there many times.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, lived in Reading for many years.
Okay.
Yep, and that's where we are, Ken.
Oh, okay. You're in Reading?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
awesome.
Yep, we're in Reading. We're in Exeter Township, but I grew up in Reading, so I grew up in the city.
Yeah, that's where we were in Exeter area too.
Okay. Yep, that's where
Was
You
it-
guys did not know that?
No, I don't know that we ever really, no.
You know,
I mean, Lori and I talk all the time, but we're always like, pretty,
I don't know, because Denise Natalie is the connection. She's the one that got this Florida contingent going because we raised our kids together, in Pennsylvania, in Reading, and until we moved away in 2007.
okay.
But we always, always kept in touch and everything, and so yeah, that's.
I love learning how everyone knows everyone. So, so sweet. Okay, and Katya, you're in Florida too. Yay!
We need a fist bump down to Florida. You guys are finally out of COVID.
Right? You guys have you don't have to wear your masks, right?
It's still pretty bad.
Yeah.
And we're still wearing our masks when we go out, anything we do outside.
But they are back to 100% restaurants and everything, I don't know. I think we're still having like 1,600 cases a day, but Florida is a big state. So yeah, it's crazy. I don't know.
I don't know how it compares to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't follow it very much. I just kind of live in my zone. Yeah. Yay. Okay, well, let's get started tonight. So I've heard from many women over the years about our husbands, our significant others, how do we get them on board? We either have significant others that love Young Living, that love the oils, totally get it. Or we have some that are like, yeah, whatever, cool, let's do it. Or we have some that are just like, that are not on board yet, and it takes a little while, right? So we're gonna talk about that tonight. We're gonna just do kind of something fun and do more of like a panel of our guys. And I should message Melinda real quick. Let's see. Because I know her husband was gonna also talk tonight. So Sarah and Steve, they are going to talk to us about, yeah, their journey, and Steve's going to share his insights and about oiling. And then Brooke is my husband, and we had to go through this tonight. He's not one to like, yeah, share openly, but you do, when I ask you to, right? A lot of our guys are kind of the quiet supporters, right? We have our guys that are the quiet supporters. And ladies, we need that. I am so thankful for you, babe, for being that person behind the scenes. Yeah, that is like, I'll watch the kids. I'll do what you need to be done. I'll do the dishes. You get on that call. You know, like, guys, I see you nodding your head. Thank you, because that speaks volumes. And we need you to be that person. And so we as women, we are the gatekeepers of our home. We're the ones that are bringing the things into our home. We're the ones that are doing the majority of our shopping. And so here we go. We got some more people popping on, yay. And so we're the ones that are checking the labels. We're going to Target, we're ordering on Amazon, and we're looking at what we're bringing in our home, and we're the label readers. And so, you know, and then, hey, and so it's that next step, right? And the majority of Young Living is definitely a women's industry. Can we all agree? It's a women's industry, okay? We're the ones that are like, hey, babe, here's these oils, right? I'm gonna put some of these things in the diffuser. What do you think about them? I'm gonna give you this pill of this oil concoction. Trust me, it's okay, right?
That was before my knowledge of oils.
What did you say when I gave you that pill?
Are you trying to kill me?
He did. He's like, are you gonna kill me? I was like, no, just take it. You're totally fine. You can totally take this.
There's way easier ways to do that, man.
Yes. So he's still here. He's still here. And an oil lover. And so we're going to hear from our guys tonight. So as Melinda gets, she's popping on, she's going to get set up. Hey, Melinda and Bill, they're going to be sharing their story too. And I would love to hear Ken. You're on here too. So Ken, if you want to answer any of these questions too, feel free to do that. And any of the guys. I mean, if you feel like you want to answer any of these questions, Debbie Kadaish. Yep. Okay. It looked familiar. I'm just always trying to remember. It's like teaching in a kindergarten classroom and you have 30 kids to remember on the first day of school, and you're like, okay. You know what I mean? Okay, so any of our guys, if you want to pop into and answer these questions. So I have some questions here. And whoever wants to just kind of answer first can totally do that. It's just like our panel of men. Thoughts of when your wife first brought oils, or your significant other, into the home. What were your first initial thoughts? Anyone may start.
Is she
Steve.
is this witchcraft or what's going on? Potions and these oils? No, I mean, Honestly, I'm reasonably open to these sorts of things when they make sense and there's some real world scenarios of why they make sense. So, and Sarah made a great, case for why we were going to try this, because it wasn't like like right away we just were like throwing everything out the window and going to buy all this stuff. And it wasn't, we grew into it. You don't just, we jumped in with both feet, but we also we didn't know how deep the pool was, if you catch my drift. So, it was a bit of a process, but it made sense. Why? I think you have to be a little open, and understand that just because, your parents used Pine Sol on everything all the time your whole life doesn't make it okay. And there's probably a reason why, and being open to that.
I would bounce off that also. Just having an open mindset. I was luckily fortunate enough to be raised in more of a holistic, natural upbringing. And so when she mentioned oils, it wasn't like woo-woo, haha, what are you doing? It was kind of more of a like, okay, we'll go down this road for a little bit and see what it's about.
Yeah, I guess for me, I agree. It's kind of a process. I would say a skeptic because oils was, completely new. It was kind of a new concept. So, but, I was open, I guess we started off with kind of diffusing it, which was good. And then it was kind of from there, getting a little more educated, I guess, about the uses of it. So it was definitely a step-by-step process for me, given, as you noted, I grew up with everything but oils. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Any of our other guys wanted to share, or don't feel like you have to, but yeah. Hey, Meg.
I was just trying to remember.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead, honey. This is my husband, Greg.
Okay. Hi, Greg.
Hey, Greg.
My thoughts were a very surprised person because of the fact of I don't do drugs, and I've been for years was telling her to get away from her drugs that she was doing. And
Medication, he calls all medication drugs because that's what they are. But I was on 26 years of heavy narcotics for back and neck issues that I've dealt with my whole life and wanted to get off of them. I hated being a pill popper.
so it surprised me that she finally did and started doing something a little different than just plain drugs.
Yeah. So you were
I'm a
supportive.
drug addict. Oh, he was very supportive. He's very holistic. We call him in the family, he's the mountain man, because he's much more comfortable in the woods, surrounded by nature, doing everything more holistic and natural his whole life, because his system is very sensitive to medications and drugs. He can't take over-the-counter stuff. Even Tylenol or, aspirin and stuff affects him greatly, in a negative way. And it was like, and before I knew all the horrors and bad stuff about candles, I was a candle addict. And I had to get rid of all of that stuff even before oils came into our life, because any kind of synthetic or unnatural scent would throw him into a major attack where he wouldn't be able to breathe. And it's not even asthma. It's not an asthma type thing. It's just his throat closes up. He feels like there's an elephant sitting on his chest. And it's one of the reasons why he isn't able to wear a mask in this whole pandemic thing. Somebody walks by him with a cologne or something on, and he has a mask on, he'll drop to his knees. And I was very nervous about, I told Sarah earlier tonight, I was very nervous about bringing oils in because of the different scents. I'm like, oh my God, what if I do this? And every single thing I could bring in, it's going to send him into an attack. You know, how am I going to do this? And every single oil, and I've got a lot of them over the last 4 years, you know, my rack's full, and every single one I bring in, he's just, I open it up, honey, smell this, any reaction? Nope, we're good. So it's it's heaven sent for us.
Awesome. Oh, so good. So good. And Ken, you were gonna state a few things too.
Yeah, I was just listening at Meg, and if he's mountain man number 1, I'm mountain man number 2. And I've always been curious about the natural way of doing things, but I knew nothing about it. And so when Lori first brought the oils in, I was very curious. I wanted to know more about them, and I would always ask her, so what does this do? What does that do? Just trying to figure it out. And I think she had to kind of corral me a little bit because I really wanted to try everything, and I think I was doing a little too much at times, not really knowing what they're for, but let's just try it anyway. And but I've always been interested in knowing about the natural way of the healing method naturally. So I'm still learning, and I'm still very interested, and she's teaching me a lot.
Beautiful.
So good. So good. And so with that then, to our men, what was the aha oil? Like, your women are bringing these in, and you're on board, you're open-minded, right? You're saying, okay, sure, go for it, honey. What was that oil for you that was like, wow?
So for me, I'm still trying to remember the first year of oils. But what finally broke me was the deep relief bottle, the roll-ons. I like the roll-ons just because you can have them in your pocket and do whatever throughout the day. But what finally, like, oh wow, this actually does do something. Like, I don't know. Before I was always thought it was just more of a mental and smell good aspect that ran through your brain. But yeah, deep relief was it for me.
And I think because I'm just going to add to that, because I remember us talking about this when we have 3 girls, and they scream.
Oh,
and like our eyes
when it
twitch,
was.
and we're like, oh. And I'm just like, here's the deep relief, let's put it on. It just helps calm everything down, and helps our eye twitching stop, and yeah, that tension. But yes, so deep relief for you.
Yeah.
How about anyone else?
The thing that
Yeah.
popped in my head is Raven Sarah. For me, we were traveling in St. Bart's, and which we scuba dive. If for those of you that know us, you know that. But we scuba dive when we go, and I ended up getting a cold like the second day we were there, and you can imagine what going deep underwater and the pressure would do if you have sinus pressure. It's no bueno, But Sarah gave me Raven Sarah, and I think I used a whole bottle over the course of the whole week. And I was just like putting it on my face and under my nose and under my eyes and on my forehead, and but it cleared me up constantly throughout the whole week, and I was able to dive the whole week, and it was amazing. And that was like my first, like, where I truly personally felt the effects instead of just witnessing what, like, we got into this because of Cooper, our son, and his respiratory ailments as a little guy and stuff like that. And I saw it, but that was the first time that I personally felt it.
Yes. We get into it for even like you said, we get into it for multiple reasons, or our wife brings it in for reasons for, you know, whether it's chemical free cleaning or it is for our children's wellness. But to have that personal experience, which I think every human being has to have that personal experience. And so, Bill, what was that for you?
Yeah. Definitely the deep relief was one, but the Pennaway was another, right? I had an accident when I was younger, like a teenager, you know, when you're kind of young and dumb. And that flares up now and then. So kind of the first time I, you know, tried it out, of course, Melinda is my subscriber. But as soon as you identify, you know, what it can do for you outside of going to the drugstore and picking up something to, you know, remedy that, it's kind of a real turn the lights on type thing. And so I think that takes you into the, you know, kind of the next steps of stuff. But like even recently, I had a tonsil that got inflamed, and I was using thieves and some peppermint and mixing that with my teas. And, you know, so one thing leads to another. Pretty soon you're using these oils in so many different ways and you see the benefits of it for yourself. So it's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure like to have these resources at your fingertips
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like at first I feel like we were probably like, you know, oh, I have a sore throat, what can I use? Or I have a muscle pain, what can I use? And we're throwing oils at our guys, right, ladies? Mm-hmm. And they're used to us, like you said, we're the prescriber. And in no way, and I should say that too, that we're not here to prescribe, treat, diagnose, or anything. It's just having, like, we don't have to run to the drugstore, right? We don't have to go out in the middle of the night to get something for our baby. We have these things. And so I remember doing that for you too, but now you just know, and as we just learn. And I think that every person, whether we are male or female, we have to come into that and start experimenting. Like you were saying, Ken, like you were just like, oh, I want to know. I'm going to grab this oil. I'm going to try it. Maybe it's too much. Maybe it's too little. Like I'm just going to use it. But that's how we learn. And so whether you are male or female, that is how we learn. And now you just grab oils, you just know what to use. And I'm sure you guys do as well. And so, yeah, Ken and Greg, like any oils that were like your aha oils to go to? I see Greg, you have your unmute button. Go ahead.
Yeah. Tell her what your aha moment was with the oils. Which one when you came home with your respiratory?
Oh, I had a bad chest cold, and basically she come up with a concoction of oil, and I rubbed it all over my chest and in my sinuses and everything. And the next morning it was great. I could breathe and I had no problems. It was going in one night.
His job, he's a contractor, so he's in and out of the weather, and it was over the winter. It was a rainy, damp, ugly day, and he was in and out. And he came home and he took a deep breath, like at dinner, and I saw him like wince, which is not, my husband is like, his pain tolerance is through the roof. He does not wince. And I looked at him, I was like, oh my God, what's wrong? And he's like, I don't know, I just hurt so bad. So I actually took RC, peppermint, and thieves, and something else, and I put it in a roller. I researched, which ones would be good for the respiratory in the chest area, and I made a roller for it. And I actually wrote that recipe down so I knew exactly what it was for the future. And I just rubbed it all over his lungs on his back and had him rub it on his chest. He put it under his nose and everything. He bundled up under the covers at night. He woke up to get ready for work and he went to leave. I said, so how are you feeling? And he went, Great, look. And he took this huge, deep cleansing breath. He's like, nothing. See you later. Love you. And out the door he went. I was like, sweet, that works.
Awesome. Yes. And we as women, we are the caregivers, right? We are the caregivers of our home. And so to be able to do that for our men is awesome. But then to see them come into their own, so and be able to use it. I love hearing these stories. And Ken, did you have an aha oil experience?
I'm not sure about an aha moment, but I do remember initially that Lori was putting a lot of the oils in the diffuser, and it was just nice, so much better at night to sleep, you know, with that. And, you know, certain ones I would really like and ask her what they're all about and which one she was using. But I kind of migrated to a specific oil that I like is the sacred frankincense oil, the sacred one. And I kind of like the biblical connection with that one because I know it's you know, I'm thinking it's similar or the same as been used in the Bible way back when. And I just feel like that is, and it has helped me. I like, it's kind of expensive, but I really like it. And so I use that a lot.
And DiGize.
I do use DiGize. I kind of forgot about that. There's quite a few that I like. DiGize I like. That's probably number one that I use the most. Yeah, I have it right here on my desk. And you know, I'm drinking my water and I just put a couple of drops in there and it's awesome. Really love that. Yeah.
Yes, because our digestive,
Ken,
our gut
if
health
you
is
like-
the key of our whole body, right?
Yeah.
And we need that running smoothly. So, yeah.
Ken, if you like sacred frankincense, try Sacred Mountain.
Sacred
That
Mountain.
is honestly, Sacred Mountain is like that and Panaway are my two oils that I will never, ever, ever, ever be without.
Okay, we have
Sacred
to get that
Mountain,
one. We don't
you
have
said
that
about
one.
you
Lori just
touched
said.
the spiritual and biblical. That's awesome. That I think you would really enjoy that. It has such a spiritual connection for me as well. I think if you like sacred frankincense, Sacred Mountain, I think you should try because you would really, really love that.
Thank you. We'll check that one out.
Yeah, you like that one too.
Yes,
That's a
that one
favorite
is
of
a top.
ours too. Yeah. Wait, you said a mountain man, right? Yeah. Yeah. we
That
need
goes well with it.
Yeah. So,
I believe, just one
Yep.
second, I think Gio probably has one that he would like to share with us.
Putting our brother on the spot over there.
Gio Davila, speak up, my brother.
How are you doing? But no, not really. I mean, I like them. They do help me. I think when I feel that I'm coming down with a cold, I use a little bit of peppermint and others, and they've helped. I mostly use it when I have a backache. I suffer from backaches, and that helps a lot as well.
yeah,
Very nice.
very great. Yes. And it's Gio, is that correct?
Yes.
Gio? I remember there was many times I'm like, get in the bathtub. I'm making you an Epsom salts bath. And he's like, no. Right? And you're like, I'm like, get in the bath. And after that, he's like, that was incredible. Like I told you, Panaway and Epsom salts. Yes. So, yes. Oh, it's so good to hear from all of you. So, okay, oil routine. Do you have an oil routine that you go by, whether it's morning? I mean, some of you probably use them more often. Maybe you definitely have a routine. Maybe it's just kind of grabbing an oil when you feel like you need an oil. Do you have an oil routine? And if they do, what does that kind of look like? You know, Steve, I'm going to start with you.
Okay. So we do supplements in the morning. So we do Master Formula, and Sarah, at least once a week, like tries to get me to poop my pants with sulfurzyme. So, because she puts it, she gets a little heavy-handed sometimes and doesn't use a spoon to actually measure it. And, so that happens like once a week.
For
And,
underwear, right?
yeah. So, and then what else? I do the deodorant.
With your Ningxia.
Oh yeah, we do Ningxia and the oils that we put in I always put thieves and grapefruit in my Ningxia with Zing, to kind of give me a kick in the butt in the morning. What else?
Talk about the deodorant.
Yeah, the deodorant was a big thing for me because I had the worst experience trying to find a natural deodorant, where one of them gave me like a rash in my armpits, which is awesome. Another one was turning my shirts black.
Literally.
Under my armpits, which
he'll still come up. He has residual PTSD from that deodorant because he'll be like, is this? And I'm like, oh, I think that's one of your old shirts.
Yeah.
It literally dyed his armpits black.
Yeah.
I have a few of those shirts too.
But I've been using the newer Young Living deodorant since it came out, and it's great. It does the trick. Sarah only complains occasionally about, so and I mean the food, guys. If you're not eating the food, you're missing out. Because I do the granola just about every day. The cereal's really good. I drink a lot of sparkling water, and I always am using Citrus Fresh and other citruses in that. The new what are the drops? These things, the Vitality drops. I use those a lot.
He just told me, I always know with him. I remember the first time that we ran out of Ningxia in the house.
Never again.
Because I was really budgeting. I moved a lot of our budget over to Young Living, to the point that I don't buy anything at Target anymore, which is huge. I don't get any of the personal care things at all at the grocery store. I even get our wipes from Target, or from Young Living. So we get these huge boxes every month, boxes that my son can jump into and we can close him in there and you can't even tell that there's a huge child in a box. But he has never, not that I don't ship him anywhere, but Steve has never complained once about that. He's only ever complained when we ran out of Ningxia. I remember him going to the fridge being like, there's no Ningxia? And I'm like, no, you must be drinking more than your 2 ounces a day, because I budgeted it out and I had enough and now we don't have any. So that's on you. And he was like, just order more. What, how many bottles are you ordering? And I did the math and I had it all calculated, and I told him, and I was so proud of that. And he's like, Sarah, just buy double that. We should never be out of Ningxia again. And I'm like, okay. So we did that. And then the same thing happened with these Vitality drops just recently, because he was he loves them and he takes them to work and he has them in his bag, because all we really drink is water. And he said, why are we out of these? And I just said, well, I bought 4 of them for the month and I thought that would be enough. And he's like, next month buy 8. I don't even if we don't use them, we'll go through them eventually.
It's not like they expire.
Yeah. So it's those things that he really, I can tell when he really likes something when we run out of it, if that makes sense. And there's other things that maybe he wouldn't notice that we were out of, but for those things, it's an absolute, and Zing especially too. I'll buy so many cases. We have that stocked for his head installer at work too, because he was bringing in Red Bulls every day and Monster drinks. And Steve was like, that stuff is so horrible for you. And he's like, well, I really like the Zing, but and Steve was like, just have the fridge stocked with it. It'll be a perk for him, and he'll be able to kind of like be healthier by it. So that's something that we give to his employees too. And they're very grateful for it.
Very nice. Yeah. Can I just say, Summer, on that Steve note, just buy more.
Yeah.
You were like, the girls are now old enough to just make their own like diffuser concoctions, and they have these little like diffuser bombs, and I'm going, I'm buying so many oils, the budget. And he's like, babe, it's all right. Just let them go. They're not using anything toxic. And I'm like, okay, just buy more. He gave me the go ahead.
I was on that kick for a while, like, what are you spending money on? Like, it just, yeah, but like, they are, like, that is their future health. Like, how can you say no to that, even though they're dumping
Blue tansy all over themselves.
That all the time.
Cooper like it turns in blue.
Or we will open a new Ningxia bottle in the morning, and I will come home and it is empty. And I'm like, what did you guys do today? And I just like it finally hit me this summer. It's their health. Like, how can you say no to that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It finally clicked in my head to where they could be doing worse things than chugging on a Ningxia bottle.
Chugging Ningxia.
Exactly. So while you're talking, what is your oil routine?
Mine is more daily. I will go with Steve. The deodorant is one that I finally like. It's there. It's like a natural deodorant that actually works. And the toothpaste. She went through a lot of toothpaste
I think they eat it.
brands.
Oh,
No,
brands.
different brands.
Because you
to
were a
where-
Crest guy.
Yeah. And then mine's more daily. Depends on mood. Joy is one, though, that I will usually not leave the house without. I have to have Joy. And Steve, you said like just your citrus fresh. I got on tangerine for a while. Like when we were trying to go from just straight water, citrus fresh, tangerine, lemon, lime, all the citrus ones were.
Can I make you a Ningxia drink in the morning with like the mineral essence, the sulfurzyme? You said you like sulfurzyme as well.
Yeah.
And
Don't put too much in.
No.
is that the reason why?
Can't say I have experience with that one.
And what happens if you put too much in?
You poop your pants.
Oh. Well, I think I need to put a little more in.
I didn't know I could do that to you. I did not know that. Excuse me. Yeah, Bill, what is do you have a routine with your oils?
Yeah, I would say it's a Young Living routine, given all the products. But I think Steve and everything was hit on so far. The toothpaste, right? The mouthwash in the morning. Actually, the mouthwash and toothpaste in the evenings too, right? Swapped out shampoos with the Sutrin 3-in-1.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
And of course, unique thing was when I swapped out my shaving cream for the Sutrin shaving cream, right? Because I'm used to this lather and lather up, and then you switch out, and it's just like a cream. And it took a little bit of getting used to that, but it works really well. It's a good solid product with regard to shaving.
And lasts a long time.
Yeah.
6 months.
Well, that's the other thing. You got to understand how much to use. So it is a shift in how you use. You're used to using a shaving cream, you just dump a bunch out, plop it on, versus the Sutrin stuff. But and then I got to have my coffee in the morning, but I don't put anything in my coffee. But, you know, my vitamins, I have my, you know, my B's and Super Cows, my BLMs, I use Ajoees. There's this Olive Essentials. There's a whole mix of like vitamins throughout the day, including the vitamin C's, right? So I do those throughout the day. And be honest with you, you know, when I started doing that 2 or 3 years ago, I noticed a huge difference in the energy levels throughout the day. And then, you know, instead of coffee throughout the day, I might have teas with, you know, like everyone just said there, put different types of oils in it, whether that's lemon, whether that's peppermint, or, you know, a whole variety of things depending on the time of year and what I feel like, right? So that's the nice thing about the oils as well. So it's giving it, you know, a little twist.
And you should see his lunchbox, because, you know, building the house, like every weekend he would disappear from morning till evening. So his lunchbox looks like the Young Living protein bar, the zinc, the nitro. He's like packs it up, the little cooler with all these supplements, and he's good for the day. And he jumps on his tractor and he rips this off, and then he's like all over the place and good to go. So, you know, they want to get going. They don't have time to stop and take a nap, right? So, and he said he noticed the difference even if he would just take 1 Super B versus 2. Like you really can feel the difference in the absorption rate that way, if your body, how quickly can respond. So, you know, that's also something that you regularly take. And you do use the Ninja and the zinc and
Ninja, zinc, yeah.
The nitro.
Yeah, pretty much everything. Including the granola, including the cereal. Yeah. And I like the wolfberries.
Oh, the dry wolfberries.
Yeah, I just munch on the wolfberries. I'm just like a wolfberry fan. But it's good stuff.
And I like how you said that, Bill. I said oil routine, but it isn't. Like, it's, yes, all of our supplements are infused with oils, or we have really high powered, you know, the Ningxia wolfberries and stuff. So it's a lifestyle. So yes, I need to rephrase that. Our lifestyle has changed dramatically with the supplements that we're using, the high powered supplements, and the oils, and the food, the good food that's made with einkorn flour. It's not filled with the junk that we get at the grocery store, and that is so important, especially for all of us, our whole family. So anyone else that want to contribute? Greg, Ken, anything that you do specifically that keeps your body running well and your mind running sharp throughout the day? And Gio too.
Greg doesn't really have a routine. He comes to me if there's something that he feels lacking. He's very blessed. He's a very healthy individual when it comes to his body. Just normally is, you know, at the peak for his chemistry and stuff. It's not old and dilapidated. But one of the things, he's also my jokester. He keeps me laughing every day. But one of the things that he did start on as a regimen was Ningxia every day with me. And he would put it, I make a plain unsweetened black tea. He does not do, you know, he doesn't like a lot of, he likes his, you know, Danish and stuff like that, but he doesn't do a lot of sweets. He doesn't add salt to his food. He can't stand that stuff. But he would add the Ningxia to his unsweetened tea. And after a while, he found that it irritated his stomach. And has a very sensitive system. So I don't know, even with it diluted like that, just to get the nutritional benefits from it after, what was it, like a week and a half that you were using? he found that he had some discomfort in his stomach, so he kind of stopped that. But every now and then, you know, he'll put a shot in here and there. He'll do the Super C when it comes to the cooler weather months to keep his immune system up. And he does the wellness blend, the thieves and frankincense and lemon. I have a roller on each of our nightstands that we do every night and every morning. So those types of things is what he does. Oh, and the shampoo and conditioner, it's one of I could never change any of my hair products. He'd give me a hug and he would go into an attack if it was something different. So I got started using the Young Living, and he used it. He's like, no, it doesn't bother me. I can use it. So that's one of the things that we use, you know, all the time. And the wolfberries. We munch on the wolfberries. I put them in my cereal. I make tea with them and everything. So and any of the oils that he would need, like if something's going on, you know, if his knees bothering him or something, he'll come to me and say, hey, I need whatever it is you give me for my knee. So that's basically what he does. We're trying to find that balance for his system that won't irritate it, and he can be on a more even keel and regular time frame of things. So if anybody has any suggestions about that, please drop them here.
And so it does sometimes take a little while for our bodies to adjust. Something so pure that it is that slow, like even if it is a supplement, you know, especially those B vitamins, like Bill was saying, he uses 2 of them. I often say start with maybe a half of one and work your way up, because certain supplements will really detox your system fast. Oils will detox your system fast. Ningxia does the same thing. So start really slow, maybe not do the 2 ounces, but maybe like a half an ounce, and work your way up if you have that sensitive system. But if you can get, just a little bit in to start with, it's so beneficial, you know. Yeah, just like when we dilute our oils, we dilute them. I mean, we all started diluting them when we started using our oils. I'm sure a lot of you are like, yes, we diluted, we followed the directions on the back of the bottle, and now we're just like dumping them all over us, right? And we're not even diluting. So kind of the same thing. We just really start slow and then work our way up till our body can adjust to them. Yeah. So I want to keep this moving. I know if we have time at the end, I would love to hear any other oil routines, anything else, but I feel like this is such a good conversation, and I love that we can just breathe life into other men, because, you know, I don't want this to be a stigma around oils and healthy living. I want all of our men to be healthy and well. And men, we need you. We need you to be healthy and well for our families, for us, and it's really important. So thank you for showing up and being that guy to come and share tonight. But real quick, round robin, make this fast, because we have this question and one more. Favorite oil right now? Favorite oil right now?
Joy.
Joy. Steve.
Valor.
Valor. Bill.
Yeah, that was it, Valor.
Valor. Oh, you said Valor. I thought Steve said Valor. Oh wait, you're on mute.
Go ahead.
I said Royal Hawaiian Sandalwood.
Oh.
Yes. Greg.
I don't know if I necessarily have a absolute 100% favorite one. They're all kind of, once they hit the diffuser or wherever, they all kind of do their thing, and it's so to say pick a favorite, it's a little hard to do.
Yeah.
In other words, he loves them all.
All of
There
them.
you go.
Awesome. Or favorite right now, in the moment. Anything in the moment.
I'd have to say for him, I would have to say for him, Panaway or Valor, because those are two that he uses at night. Panaway for his knees after work, and Valor when we go to bed in the diffuser. I would say those two probably, because those are the most that he experiences at night.
Most used in the moment. And Ken.
Yeah.
Back to the sacred frankincense. I love that one. I really do. Use it morning and night.
Oh, I'm right there with you. I love frankincense. I wake up in the middle of the night and I drop it on my little like blanket and I smell it and it just puts me right to sleep. But Sacred Frank is a really good one. Gio, do you have a favorite one and in the moment?
I'd say lemongrass.
That's a good one. Okay, love it. All these different ones. Okay, so last question. If your wife is sharing the business opportunity of Young Living, how has it blessed your family financially? But then also, how have you seen her be blessed as well and change and just her overall mood too? Who would like to share on that? Because I know for guys, finances is a big thing, right? And so that's why I bring this up, because we are
Cricket.
bringing things into our home that are a little bit more value, right? And so as guys, we're like, okay, like you're spending how much on these, right? But then to be able to share them and also find, have an income for our family is another thing, right? Wellness and abundance. How has it blessed your family?
Well, for my wife, Lori,
Yep, go ahead, Ken.
I think she's a little more health conscious than that, to support her, or for her needing me to support her, that makes me, a little more healthy, because we are both trying to, to do the right thing, to take the right foods into our bodies and to supplement that with the oils. And to me, it's just, we're in a better place because since she started with Young Living, as far as that goes.
Health-wise, you're both in a better place.
Yes.
Yes. And you cannot put a dollar value on that, right? Because when you're sick and you're tired, all you want is to feel well, right?
Yeah. I would say with Sarah, the biggest thing from a business perspective is the relationships that have been, built and solidified, and being able to grow through that, and then to help other people grow, and how there is that, cyclical pattern in a sense to all of that is, very fulfilling overall, so just having that fulfillment in life and that purpose and those sorts of things, I think is an amazing intrinsic benefit to all of this, especially from a business perspective.
I will add to that. Since we have been on this venture, the Young Living community is one that I have grown to. Like the group of people that are in this, I don't know if you want to call it team or whatever, just the community is absolutely such a blessing in every way too. It is an amazing thing to see the people that are in this community.
You're the man that parks people when they come into the driveway. And this is what he says. Remember what you say?
No, I don't. Sorry. Is this a running joke?
No, I love it. Because our driveway's kind of awkward and weird. And so I'm like, okay, baby, you need to just help people park, right? And he goes, the instant people pull in our driveway, they get this smile on their face. Like to be like part of something, to be in an event, to be part of other people. Right?
Yeah.
And you love that when we recap at the end of the night, he goes, I love it. And when people like leave, they don't want to leave. They just hang around their cars and they just love hanging out together. That's what you tell me. That's what you told me. So yeah, the community, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bill, Melinda.
Yeah, I guess Melinda started when she was looking for solutions to some of her own health problems, right? So I think that that path she started on, and that path led her to Young Living, right? And with that, and bringing Young Living into our house and our family, kind of brought us into a new healthy road, right? And then if you look at the business benefits, sometimes healthy living isn't always low cost, right? So I think the business and the essential rewards and things help to offset some of that, right? So that you can continue to, expand in the areas where it's super beneficial long-term from a lifestyle or, healthy living, so that you feel good every day and therefore can enjoy it.
Absolutely.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. And to be able to gift that to other people, because we're gifting that. We're saying, hey, we feel so amazing. We want you to feel amazing, right? Because we know what we have now.
Yeah.
And for me, actually, moving here from Europe was a huge decision, life decision. And I really felt lost for a long, long time. I just felt, don't belong here. Nobody understands me. We don't do things like this. We're just a completely different routine. And I always had to be careful what I'm saying, what I'm doing, because it's just totally different lifestyle. And once I met people in this community, I suddenly felt like they are just like me. Okay, I'm not a weird here. Apparently there are people like that here too, who emphasize on being well versus what can we do quickly, temporarily fix things, and how can we take care of our family the best we can and have tools on hand that empowers us to be just, better parents, handle emotional things, handle daily stress, whatever comes our way. It's just so calming to have these at hands, and then you know what to do, and you don't rely on something unknown with people who you don't even know, and you have to believe them because they said so. And I think it really helps in your relationship too, because then you teach your children, you teach your spouse that this is not that complicated, this is easy, anybody can do this, and you just have to give yourself a chance, and then your body is able to run properly and fuel how it meant to be running. And we can, just because we're getting older, it doesn't mean we have to deteriorate. Like I think the older we get, the better, the healthier we get, which is not typical at all. So, but hey, I want to break the pattern. I don't want to go down on the same path that my family went down, and that's good enough for me. And if it's working, then others can choose to do that too. It's in everybody's power to do that. So I think it's important that you grow together as a family, as a couple, and both find that important, because otherwise it's kind of hard, right?
And you hit on that pretty well, Melinda, like so well. We don't want to be a statistic. We want to break the mold, and we want to do it together. And so running together, having the same values, raising our family in the same way is so, so, so important. And I'm sure you all see that as well. whether, you know, in anything, in any, like our health values, our financial values, our educational values. We want to come together on that. And so I'm just going to open it up. If there's anything else anyone else wants to add to this conversation, please do so. It is 9:03, and I know we said we end, usually this is an hour. So if there's anything anyone wants to add or questions you want to ask, we'll have a little Q&A. And I'm going to put a little link here. If you brought your spouse with you, I am going to send you a set of manly roller bottle labels so you can make your man a roller bottles, or your man can make them himself, right? Or you can get your kiddos to help them make them, right? Daddy, can't wait to make you roller bottles. So I'll put that little Google form in the chat as you guys are asking any questions. So we'll have about a 5-minute Q&A. If anyone has any questions.
Hey, I just wanted to touch, just expanding on the business question you had, Sarah. I mean, the financial side of it, which we really didn't dive too far into, but I think that a great thing that we need to understand is that, this business is built with a residual income platform. And there are business owners who are in other industries out there struggling to figure out how to create residual income and have it go beyond what they sell to their client that day or that next month or that next year. And it's great that they have repeat business, but it's not residual income. And Young Living has built a system that can give you that foundation. And I mean, if you can work it and stick with it and be successful in it, I mean, it could carry you far. And I mean, that is an amazing gift, because there are people far smarter than me out there trying to figure out how the heck to do it. And they're just giving it to you and explaining to you how to do it and giving you that system and platform, which is amazing. It's invaluable.
Steve, I'll jump on that. So Mary Young was in this demographic her entire life, if I remember right. And she set out to build the best compensation plan that this industry has ever seen for the employees, us. And so if you talk to other business people out there, they will say Young Living has the best compensation plan in any of these platforms. Like, you cannot beat how your business is being paid.
And you can, a very good friend of mine in our upline, above Melissa, if you know Melissa Spilsbues, our diamond, above Melissa, she's a very good friend of mine. And I often ask her, because she built to a place where she was very comfortable, and this business has blessed her to a point where she could start another business where her heart really was. And she's still getting paid as a gold in this business. She's still getting paid, even though her focus is building another business. You can build this business and then build another business, or bless, a ministry, or whatever you want. The dreams and the limits there's no limit. Let's just say that there's no limit. And you were going to say something else on that too.
With our 5-year plan?
We had a 5-year plan. I don't know if y'all have a plan. Like, we just like to plan. I don't know. And to be able to set intention.
So you kind of walked into this right at the time when we were deciding, or walked into the business aspect right when we were deciding if we were going to, or our goal was to have her stay home with the kids. And so it was the same year where we decided that is going to happen. It didn't matter if we were going to have to. So we had like 6-7 years to where she was going to be out of work.
That I was going to stay home from teaching, raise the kids until they all were all in school. And you
And
said, I don't care.
I don't care. We'll take out, I mean, it's your child's, like, first couple of years. I was like, it has to be done. We are, if worst comes to worst, we'll take a loan out. I don't know, put a loan on the house or something. But when that's when you got the 5-year.
I looked at the income disclosure and I was like, what if? And you're like, oh, go for it. Sure, what if?
Yeah, and now we are sitting there. Like, what if it happens?
Because we were going to go in debt. We were going to go in debt if I was going to stay home. Like, that's just, I was going to stay home for 5 years. So they were all in school. So it was like, what if? Let's just do it, right? Let's give it a shot. Let's start sharing. This was our lifestyle. This is what we loved. The whole holistic living. And I think that's what it is you just got to say, what if? Let's do it, right? And run with it. Just go.
Education was a big part of that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we did not sit on the sidelines and, just think stuff's going to happen. I mean, we've kind of both been in different businesses our whole lives, and business is business. You can't just walk in and expect, I mean, you got to make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, education. And I think I've heard all of you say education, learning, right? Learning. Business learning, product learning.
My biggest struggle and my plan for me jumping into the business, not just because we wanted to do the business, but because of sharing everything with other people, that there's a better way, a healthier way, that you don't have to put all this crap in your body, and how much more beneficial it is for everybody, and for our conservation of our land and everything, and the wildlife too, because that's our heart. But my biggest struggle with building my business is juggling. And I know I have to look at it as, this is my job. It's a job I love, but I say this not making excuses, but we have very busy lives. Sarah knows, we volunteer in our community with emergency services. I've got a sister that has special needs that we're her main caregivers. She lives with us. I have 2 elderly parents, and I've got all of these things like coming at me, and my husband has his own business as a side business, plus he works full time. I mean, we literally have our own businesses, work full-time jobs, and have 3 other part-time jobs, plus our volunteering. And it's like, there's days that I just sit and I'm like, I grab my joy because I don't want to burst into tears because I'm so overwhelmed. And it's a struggle. That's the biggest thing for me. But my goal and my dream is Greg retires from his full-time job in another 1.5 years, 2 years at the most. And we want to be able to travel. And my brothers and sisters will help out with our sister then. But it's very hard to find that balance. And I have absolutely so much respect for both Sarahs, with the way your lives are. And I know, Sarah, you have your homestead and you're living our dream. That's like something that we've always wanted to do. Build our cabin in the woods and live off the land and do our own thing like that. And Sarah Paul, you just, with Coop and running your business the way you do, and you 2 ladies are inspirations for me. And I strive. I'm not wanting to be like you, but I want to be like you, if you know what I mean. You're my inspiration, and I see how successful you ladies and gentlemen are, and that's what I want for my family. And it's a real struggle to try and compartmentalize all of these responsibilities and still build this business that I dream of for my family.
Yeah, and thank you for that, Meg. And what I would say to you, what I would say to all of you, if you, because we all have very full plates, right? We all have very full plates, and you would be amazed with what consistency can do for you. And even just a little bit, it's not as though you have to be consistent 8 hours a day. But if I'm thinking about the Diamond Bound training that I attended this past weekend, you know, and Jordan Strand, Crown Diamond, what she said was 6 hours a week. You consistently do that, you know, 1 hour a day, 6 days a week. And even if that seems like a lot right now, then do, you know, 6 half hour days, or I'm sorry, half hours for 6 days, you know what I mean, per day. But that little consistency, it's incredible with those little forward motions in a consistent way, the momentum that picks up from that. It's really amazing what can happen when you are just consistent. But you have to show up even when you do not want to. Like literally before this call, I looked at my husband, I said, hey, I have this phone call to make. He said, go do it. And I said, I know. I don't feel like doing it. He said, I know, go do it anyway. And I went and I made the freaking phone call, you know, because why? Because I'm doing what it takes in order to have the freedom for my family that I desire. And because my why is deep enough. And I know that yours is too, Meg. I have no doubt about that, but just don't doubt what a little bit of consistency each day can really do for you. Really, truly. And one more thing that I wanted to say about the compensation plan for all of you too, something that I did recently, I know some of you are doing as well, is that we started building a business for Steve as well. So currently we are collecting 2 paychecks a month from Young Living. I'm collecting a gold paycheck. Steve is currently collecting an executive paycheck. He'll be silver by the end of the year. And in a very short amount of time, that helped to exponentially grow the income that we were bringing in for our family. So that's 2 residual income bases per month that we have coming in. And it's something that, you know, Steve may not actively work like I do. However, he'll give me referrals, or he'll use oils in front of his clients. He'll do those things. But it really is phenomenal. And something like that can make a huge difference with your goals in a very relatively short amount of time too. So I just wanted to point that out because it's something that we didn't start doing until I think April of this year is when I really started building under Steve's legs. So in 6 months, it made a huge difference for our family, and we're really excited to see where that goes too. But that's a blessing that Young Living gives you as well, is the ability to be able to build, for you and for your spouse as well, and take advantage of that. And that is within the compensation plan too. So I just wanted to point that out as well.
Very good pointers.
Yeah, Greg does. We do have an account for Greg, and I want to start building his leg as well.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And that's something that, yeah, our guys can, Brooke we have a leg for him. He has an account. We were at the point where we had our legs set up where we could bless our team members. And so you even said, let's just bless those that are building a business. But he brings me referrals, and we had this little competition, like, ooh, how many people did you sign up? How many? We just have this little competition, like, oh, I referred that person to you, So it's just this fun, like, getting to know other people too, and having him on board with that. So, he does actively help with that as well.
But it is awesome too, just to see, like, once you introduce this business to another person and to see how their life is going to change in the next month, 6 months, year, 5 years. That is just such an amazing gift you can give somebody, to where it's hard to keep your mouth shut.
You definitely he has a heart, and he works with all men, mostly all men. There's some women at his job. but he comes home and he shares just the stories of the guys and their families. And he's like, they really need oils. They could really use this in their life. XYZ is happening. But you build that relationship first. And it takes a little while. He builds that relationship. So I feel like we could talk about this so much,
Yeah.
right? So I don't want to keep you all too long. If you have further questions on oil routines, on building a business, you can always reach out to any one of us or the person that referred, or enrolled you. And just like Sarah said, those small, and Meg, I'm gonna just share this with you. Those small little consistency steps, just like we do with our oils. As we started with our oils, it was baby steps, right? Little baby steps. We were consistent with our, using our lavender at night or taking our supplement. Those little baby steps. It's the same thing. Being consistent in building a business too. So it's all consistency. And so I want to bless you all tonight. Leave you with just lots of love, and thank you so much for joining us tonight, men and women. And again, please make sure you fill out that Google form. I put it in the chat so that I can get your Stanley roller bottle labels out to you this week. All right. Go ahead.
I have one thing for Lori.
Yep.
Oh, Robert. He was just saying, he loves Sacred Frank. Does he have Gary's book yet?
No, what is it? Gary's what?
His book.
The D. Gary Young book.
The D. Gary book.
No.
Pull it up. I can grab it real quick.
You have it? Okay. Yeah.
If that's his favorite oil, Gary's book is absolutely incredible at how he goes into his trips over to Israel and
the history of it.
The history of it.
Yes. Ken, Brooke was just saying that you would probably love the D. Gary Young book, all the history of it. And
if your favorite is the Sacred Frank, there's some really cool reads in his book.
Okay, thank you. D. Gary Young?
Yeah. And there's all kinds of stuff. He's over in Israel and going through all like the distillation of that oil and stuff. It's just really interesting to read how that came up.
I'll check it out. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, well, this will be uploaded to our WellFolk group. It will be in our Essential Experience so that you can go through it anytime, and will also be on YouTube. So you can always watch it, share it with friends. Have an amazing night. Thank you so much, Melinda and Sarah and Ken and Gio and Gary and Steve and Bill, trying to look at all these names, for sharing your insight with us tonight. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Night, everyone.
Bye.
Night.